Hey guys, Ryan Melrose here. Today I'm going to be doing another comic review created by another webcomic artist and writer, creator, such as myself. Alright, that's coming up. Today I'll be doing a review on the webcomic series Daniel by Sarsh Nelson. You can check out this series yourself at our website, vermillionworks.com. The link, of course, is in the description below. Now, first of all, how did I discover this series? Well, I was actually marketing my own work on Twitter, Facebook, social media, all that sort of stuff. And while I was marketing, I decided to take a break from marketing and just have a look on Twitter and see what other creators were doing. Maybe get some ideas on marketing, or just check out some other art styles and work. And that's how I stumbled upon Sarsh Nelson's Twitter account and her series Daniel. She had this really cool thumbnail that immediately caught my eye, and I just had to click on it and have a look at what it was all about. So I was instantly drawn to it. And as I found out when I read the description, it's a horror comic and it's set in the 1930s, I believe. So, we're talking about those really old cars, and the real gangsters walking around with their hats and trench coats, and the era of the atomic gun. That sort of hooked me into it right away, and from there I started reading it. And at first, after the first chapter, I wasn't really too sure about it, but then the moment, basically when chapter 2 starts, I started being intrigued by the entire mystery. So basically, in a nutshell, this is what the story's about. It's about this man named Daniel, who was a nice guy, a little down on his luck, works at a cemetery for a living, and he's in love with his best friend, the beautiful Christine. And unfortunately for Daniel, this wealthy, I believe, gangster is also into Christine and always harasses her, the type that just won't take no for an answer. The type? Well, after a couple of run-ins with Daniel, Wayne realizes that Daniel is in love with his girl Christine, and he basically him being Wayne being a dickhead, he basically intimidates Daniel, and Daniel basically just goes away. But then, suddenly nothing. Daniel disappears for a while. He just disappears, like off the face of the earth. No trace. And Christine is worried for months on end, until one day, 3 months after his disappearance, he suddenly comes back and everything seems good, everything's happy. But you can tell from right away there is something different about him. And sooner or later, Christine soon comes to realize that Daniel has come back. as a blood-sucking vampire. And when I say vampire, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking, if he sees you, he'll fucking kill you. And so that's basically what the story is about. It's sort of murder mystery, love story, vampire comic. And as for the art style, I really love the art style. The art style is really awesome. It's dark and gothic in a way, sort of a bit steampunk as well. And it just complements the story really well, I find. And it really captures the personality of the characters too. Which you'll know what I mean should you guys actually check out the comic, and I highly recommend you do. It's a really awesome comic. I couldn't stop reading it to the end. I'm now waiting anxiously for the update so I can keep reading. But yeah, it's as to would I say it's kid friendly? Definitely not. I'd have to say it's definitely an adult R-rated comic, adult situations. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend you show your 5-year-old kid this comic. Not unless you want him to have nightmares for about a month. But it's a really awesome tale. I highly recommend it, especially if you're into horror. It's it's quite a bit of violence in it. The violence tends to escalate a little bit more as the comic goes on. It's so for those of you who are into the gore, it won't disappoint. Trust me on that. And you get one hell of a story as you're reading. So let's see, how do I best put into words how I feel about this comic? Well, let me put it to you this way. If Daniel were to become a motion picture one day in the cinemas, I'll definitely be lining up to go see it. I really love what Sarsh Nelson has done with her work on Daniel. And I really can't wait to see how it all concludes. I have a bit of a prediction of what might happen, but whether or not that prediction will come to be, I don't know. But that'll be something worth looking at, just to find out if I'm right. Personally, I hope it does end that way, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be happy no matter how Sarsh Nelson chooses to end the comic. To tell you the truth, I'm really looking forward to more of her work, and like I said, I highly recommend you guys check it out. The link to her website is in the description. I recommend you go in there, have a look, have a read. It's free to read on there, and if you like it, maybe jump on her Patreon page, and yeah, definitely support her work and what she's doing. In my opinion, she's honestly really talented and is really good at telling stories. Because other than the artwork, it is mostly the story that's got me, that has my eyes literally glued to the comic. Okay, not literally, but yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, that's about it for my review today. I'll be back next time if you want me to continue doing more reviews like these for other webcomic projects. Definitely.